is improvements, there is growth, there's further value in the product, further value for the creators, for the users. So to us, every release is something or a reason to celebrate. But just like we have a release and we close one sprint, we start the other one right away. So on Wednesday, we closed sprint 97. And today, we started sprint 98. We're 2 sprints away for having 100 sprints since we first had our first dollar being invested in Fanbase through our crowdfunding efforts. Super exciting. That means that we had 200 weeks of continuing, non-stopping development and improvement. It's been an amazing journey. We're not planning on stopping, but still, there's something about that 100 number that makes you reflect of how far we got and still how much more we have to go, right? But we're on sprint 98 that we started today, so a few more sprints towards sprint 100. I'm going to explain what are we working on and some of the things that are coming in the near future, and then I'm going to take a pause and see if you guys have any questions, any comments, feedback. We'll look into the chat room, and then I'll bring some of you on stage as well, okay? But let's look into Sprint 98 that started today and some of the things that we're working on and which will also be included in the release, okay? So first things first, we have a pretty big release coming up in a couple of weeks. We did promise ourselves that we wanted to build 3 new monetization features for Q2. We're finalizing it now in Q3. One of them, you guys are already enjoying, and in fact, I'm going to go in there and give some love to some great questions, but we have love on chat room. The other 2 are coming very soon. The first one is going to be exclusive live streams, which means that you will now be able to have exclusive experiences on live for your subscriber base, which is super exciting. So if you are a musician, if you are an artist, any type of artist, whatever you are, you now have a new way to monetize through live. You could already make money through lab. Every lab that they give you in the live is money you make. And now you can actually create exclusive experiences. So I invite everyone to get creative because it's a great opportunity to start making even more money on live stream. Okay, so exclusive live stream is being finalized. We're aiming at including that in Sprint 98 or the release of Sprint 98 that is coming in a couple of weeks. All right, and we are also working on some other live stream improvements. We're adding, for example, titles in the live stream feed. We know that we have a lot of great live streams going on, but sometimes by looking at the feed, it's hard to tell what the live stream is about, so we're trying to help that experience as well. And we are also finalizing the 3rd monetization feature. I'm still not going to be able to tell you that one. I think you're going to be super excited for that one because it is pretty disruptive, but that's going to be coming probably at the end of July, beginning of August, but it's the next monetization tool that is going to come up. Okay, so another way that you're going to be able to monetize in Fanbase. And let's see, we are still working on 2 web increments that are also going to be coming this quarter. The first one is audio, actually hallway on web. So the listing of public unbranded audio rooms will now be accessible and visible through web, which is super exciting. Right now, the only way someone can know about your audio room, even though they can listen through web, is if someone or you as a creator share that link to the audio room. Well, that will no longer be the case. Don't be surprised if suddenly you start seeing new users or new audiences that suddenly they went into the hallway on web and were like, oh my God, there's some great conversations. I'm going to kind of join. They'll be able to join through web like they do today, or they'll be able to download the app and then participate in a more engaging way. So hallway on web is coming up. We're excited about that. And the second web improvement or increment, also has to do with audio. We're actually creating a calendar for all of those engaging, consistent, recurring audio rooms that are happening in Fanbase. Not only the ones that we have every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from the fan-based team, but also for those that have been bringing engaging conversations. Again, another way of having further visibility. I will share another thing about this, which I think is super exciting. I have my audio room every Thursday. And one of the things that it's a little bit painful, again, I'm just being spoiled here, but I know you guys go through the same, is that every Thursday I have to put the same title, the same information. I usually adjust things as the hashtags and things depending on the release, but it's always the same. When we bring upcoming rooms on web, which is the calendar on web, those that are going to be selected to be featured, you will be able to reuse information from recurrent audio rooms. So you're going to save a lot of time, having to retype your title, bring your hashtags, your interests, and so on. So it's going to be a lot of added benefits beyond getting a lot of exposure to your audio conversation. So if being on Fanbase, making money already in audio is not a reason enough for you to create great conversations, now you have another reason. You will be able to be featured on a calendar. It will be visible to the entire world, and you're going to get some extra perks that will save you time as you create these audio rooms, okay? So those two web increments are being worked on Sprint 98. They're not coming next sprint, but they're going to come very, very soon, okay? Another thing, and we're going to start being more consistent, is that we're going to be updating the Flix masks. We haven't updated the Flix masks that you can use in quite some time, but we have a new library of masks that we've been working on. So we're promising ourselves that we're going to be updating those fairly frequently. So in 2 weeks, you're going to be able to see new masks that you can use while you create Flix content as well. All right. I did mention that one of our objectives for Q3 is to help drive community building. Now, what best to build community than through camps, okay? So we are going to be focusing a lot of camps, and we're starting with some small improvements. For example, you're going to be able to share camps. I know that you guys have been asking that for quite some time. So if you want to share camps outside Fanbase, you will be able to do so now. You're going to be able to filter camps by interest as well. We're starting to see a lot of camps, thousands of them. So it's getting a little bit hard to find camps that cater to your interests. But now, starting very soon, you're going to be able to say, you know what, I love, hip-hop music. Show me all the camps that have those interests. And then be able to join and start having alike conversations in there. Also, other small increments, such as being able to find users throughout camps. We have camps that also have thousands of users. And sometimes camps is not only to, build community, but also see content from other alike creators as well. So all these small improvements in camps, we believe are going to make a big difference. And then we're going to go and continue building in camps through there as well. Okay. One last thing for Sprint 98. Again, there's many other things that are happening. Some of these are invisible, but we are going to continue working on the algorithm, expanding it, improving it. The goal is to start driving a truly interest-based experience throughout every vertical inside Fanbase. So the algorithm is going to be central. You're going to hear me saying it all the time because it's going to be part of every sprint from now until who knows. But it's always good to mention that we are still working on improving the algorithm, and we'll have some improvements coming up on the next release as well. Okay, so that's a little bit of Sprint 98, a lot of things happening. We are aiming at the end of Sprint 98, going live with exclusive live streams, updating the masks for Flix so you can create better in there. And also we're going to be launching some improvements in the algorithm as well, and that is going to help you gain more visibility for your content or find more relevant content. Okay? All right. With that said, it's time to open up for questions, feedback. I'm going to jump in the chat room first and see what's going on in there. And then if you want to jump on stage, you'll be free to do so as well. Okay? All right, what's up, Silver? All right, for convenience, you should be able to view all audio rooms, like lives, from the master home screen. So if you go to the audio, what we call the hallway, you will be able to see all the public, exclusive, and also if you were invited to any private, right? That's almost, if you compare it to a live stream, it's almost like the live feed. Now, if you do follow anyone that creates an audio room, that will also show up on your main feed, okay? Now, today that only happens if you follow the creator. In the future, you will have recommended as well, so we will give more visibility to audio rooms as well, okay? So hopefully I understood your question / statement, but we do have a way to visualize all the audio rooms. We really don't try to silo any audio rooms, but you should be able to see all of them, okay? All right. The view all audio room is not there. Okay, well, that's strange. Okay, I'm seeing that some of you were asking for more clarification there. Yeah, schedule rooms. Now, memoir choice. So, the reason why I didn't call it schedule rooms is because we were in a path into launching schedule rooms a while ago, and schedule rooms, the full schedule room, is a pretty robust functionality. This will definitely be a step towards the full schedule rooms, but I agree with you that it's going to be big. We are still aiming at having the full-blown schedule room where you will be able to schedule all your room. You'll automatically, allow any users to put it in their calendar, and then they'll be alerted when the room is coming up. So we're definitely going that direction. So we're going to continue building on this audio room calendar on web as well. Okay. Let's see, what else? Will there be a schedule for lives or a schedule directory for camps? Yeah, so when we build some core functionality, we actually always try to look at it from a scalable point of view. What do I mean by this? When we actually build schedule rooms, we don't want to build schedule rooms so it works only on audio rooms. We actually build, sometimes we call them modules, sometimes we call them engines. In this case, the idea is, can we build a schedule engine that can be reused in other verticals, such as live, such as posting, and so on? So in that way, when we make these efforts, which are large efforts, we're also, cutting up some time from reapplying this functionality in other verticals. So when we do these things, we're also considering, okay, how could this add value to other verticals? Does it add value? Yes. So then when we build it, let's build it in a way where we can reutilize in other verticals as well, okay? So hopefully I answer your questions that we do have that in mind. First, we're going to focus on audio rooms, but then most surely we're going to go into the other verticals as well. So someone asked, will people on web will be able to tip with or without profile? They will not be able to as of today. The reason for that is that when you actually tip, give love, or even you subscribe, you need to actually transact, okay? Now, you can subscribe on web, which is a great thing. So if you didn't know, you can actually go on web to any profile and subscribe to someone through web. You can put your credit card and you can do that. What you cannot quite yet do is use labs on web. But regardless, when you subscribe, when you give love, you must have an account because there has to be a way to have traceability of that transaction. When you transact, it's very, very hard for us to allow that in an anonymous way. The great thing about doing something like that is obviously you increase your audience and your potential for making money. But if we can track who pay you, who give you the money, that can bring a lot of problems as well. So the answer is right now, no, you must have a fan-based profile or an account to be able to give love or subscribe, regardless if it's from web or app. Okay. All right. Building off of a calendar using audio rooms. Do other platforms have APIs where you can post content to them so that you can post audio rooms? So if I understand that correctly, there's a lot of tools out there where you can schedule content, right? Hootsuite, just to mention a few other ones. In order for Fanbase to do that, we still need to continue building our stack, and we need to start building some partnerships on that side. This is something that marketing leadership has brought constantly, the concept of starting to integrate. So just like you can, schedule a post in Instagram or in TikTok, you'll be able to do in Fanbase. So definitely that's the direction. We're not there yet. But the idea is to start opening that so we can use third-party tools as well. Kid Yaya, I will talk briefly about some of the profile updates. So I'll talk about that when I mentioned the roadmap for Q3. But definitely going to be updating profile as well. Okay. All right. How long do they have before the login alert, create account alerts pop up? Time limit. I'm not sure I understood that. If you can maybe give me more details on the login alert, create account alert pops up. I don't know if you're asking about audio and web or what. If they're listening online. So we do have we obviously always encourage them to sign up because they'll be able to monetize and they'll be able to engage. They'll be able to go to a chat room and so on. So the audio on web per se already has the call to actions for them to download, but we also are starting to implement through web some call to actions and pop-ups that drive them into the app. We know that we have some functionality in web that is great for web. Like, for example, if you want to upload a 2-hour-long Fanbase Plus, you have to do that through web, right? That's a differentiator that happens on web. But we know that the full-blown experience happens on the app. So until we get to a full-blown web experience, we will be pushing users into the app, especially when they're listening to audio rooms, because we know that they're going to get many more benefits and value from that, not only to them, but also to you as a creator. So we will be bringing other ways in audio and web where we're going to be able to ask them to download the app for a better experience. Hey, Kyle, you're too slow, man. Come on. You got to keep up. No, it's easier to say than to, you're welcome, than to type. Those are good questions, guys. If you haven't realized, for all good questions and feedback, I'm giving lab out. So, and whoever asks the best question, I'm going to give 500 labs. Oh, man, I'm loving this chat room. Are you guys liking this chat room? That one chat room? Give me some feedback. I haven't heard many feedback more than we like it. Tell me what you think about it. All right. I see some of you that you have your hand up, so I'm going to bring you guys up. I want to hear some voices, Having chat room kind of spoiled us a little bit because, people now, they feel more comfortable using the chat room than coming on stage. But let's make it real. All right, let's start with Locked in Christ. How are you? Welcome.
Hey, Rama. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So my question is, and I know you said you're working on just the pre-scheduling thing with audio rooms, but I wanted to know if that working on it included also a way to record the rooms for replay value, or to be able to download the audio and repurpose it across platform.
Yeah. So 2 things. This is separate from scheduling, but it is important and we will be bringing. So the idea of recording audio room, that's number 1. And second is the idea to give you the chance of doing things and monetizing from that recording as well. So those 2 are coming, but they're going to be separate from scheduling because they're different functionality. So it's just a question of time. Again, sometimes we're trying to prioritize quarter by quarter to drive business, but that's something that we've had in our horizon, and we're definitely going to be doing it. Hopefully this year, but definitely will come.
Okay, cool. And then also, this may be an idea. I don't know. Maybe this is what I envision. But have you guys ever considered making some type of like visual thing available for the room to be able to put like logos there, or just some type of JPEG, PNG input by the audio rooms?
So we have discussed and we have done some brainstorming around improving media sharing through audio room, right? That's as far as I can go as far as details on media sharing. Media sharing can be, images, can be a presentation. So we have discussed how we can, how can we give more tools to make a conversation more engaging and easier to understand. So that's definitely something that we discussed. I will say, and I will tie this to profile improvements which someone asked, is as part of improving the profile, we're also going to be working in enabling business accounts as well. So if you do have a business, even though you are your own business fan base, if you think about it, you will also be able to have other features such as being able to upload logos and so on that can be utilized throughout the app as well. Okay, so again, another thing that is coming, and we have considered it because we've seen that there's room for improvement on media sharing inside audio.
Oh, okay, cool. And will that include the trademark symbol input being available?
We haven't talked about that specifically, but if that can always be brought up as a means of an image.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. What's up, Sam?
How's it going? Aloha from the opposite side of the earth.
Aloha. You're just getting started. I'm finishing.
Yep. So yeah, just wanted to kind of just add to the topic that Marshall is about to go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and let him take over. But basically, we both had basically the same support ticket around the live stream issue. He brought it up at the last Thursday's meeting, and so mine has actually been completed, and his hasn't yet. So I just, we just want to make sure that his does. And again, just want to point out Marshall because he's the man in terms of when it comes to shaking the phone, right? Rama, I know you're always, our input is important, and all of us don't necessarily do it enough. But Marshall is the guy that always does it and helps and works with support. So yeah, we just want to make sure he gets his link here. So pass it over to you, my man.
Thank you, Sam. Let's hear what it is. What's up, Marshall? How are you?
Oh, Marshall, I don't know if you're able to get off mute or not. Marshall, I know he may be at work, but Marshall, if you're able to get off mute, go ahead, and if not, I can break it down. Yeah. Okay.
I'm here. My phone's cutting in
you
and
good?
out.
No worries.
I'm out in the shop. Sorry. So thank you, Sam, for that. I appreciate it. Rama, I know we talked last week about trying to retrieve my live stream from what is now approximately 2 weeks ago. And I had been communicating with Federico all the way up until last week, July 11th, and haven't had any kind of follow-up quite yet on retrieving the video. I know that the last communication was he was trying to find the name of that said live stream. So I'm following up this week again to try and get access to that, because the gentleman who came on stage last week from Old Queen Street Stadium is one of the gentlemen that we were onboarding live in real time. And so that live stream footage is what I'd like to get retrieved, because they just are coming onto the app. And we've been doing that over the course of the last maybe month and a half or so, is onboarding new users in real time during Sam and my multi-live stream. So if you can light a fire under those guys or take control and get access for me, I really, really, really would appreciate it.
Okay.
You guys are busy and you guys always do a really good job. So
one question just to make sure, the information that they asked you already provided, right? So it's on our record?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I just being tech support and I put it on their radar, so you should hear back from them no later than tomorrow, okay?
I appreciate you, Rama. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Guys.
Yes,
right.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you, Rama. I just wanted to say, I appreciate you for that, getting that, because, yeah, you guys are great. The support is always great, and I know it can be done because they already took care of it for me. But, I got to get fast track because Marshall started it last week, so, I want to make sure.
Oh, good.
I want to make sure that he gets it and I don't get it and he don't get it. So appreciate you. But yeah, no, it was a really great time. Like you said, it's been really cool onboarding new users in real time and it's been a lot of fun. So looking forward to more of that.
That's awesome.
And that's it for me. That's it for me. So thanks, my man. Yep.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. It's awesome. All right. Let's see if we have anyone else before we start talking a little bit about the roadmap. I'm going to go back into the chat room. See, always a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. I'm going some feedback on the chat room. The chat room is amazing. It's going to be another way for creators to monetize coming soon. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I mentioned that, Kyle. Enjoying the chat room. It makes the convo two-way no matter the listening surrounding. Gary's asking if we trademark it. So we're being very selective on things that we patent, and for patenting purposes, there's always a cost associated with it. So we got to be very conscious about that and make sure that we invest in those that have the greater chance of success. So most of the monetization tools we are starting patenting because those are the disruptive. There's not many platforms out there that are monetizing even comments. But one of the reasons why we're doing this Regulation A race, Reggae, is so we can speed up our IP protection process. And we go to a point where we have a pretty smooth process, but again, it requires investment, resources to drive this through. So we're hoping as we progress in the race, we're going to be able to start doing more and more and quicker. So, all right, let's see. Kyle, none of my scope. That is true. Let's see. I can't wait to see a new chat. I'm excited for it. All right, I'm going through the chat room. Idea, merge live on audio into a new vertical. Yeah, so for those that have been with us for quite some time, we came a long way on the audio vertical. We obviously first started in a bootstrap way back in the day, and then we came out with the Audio Room 2.0, we call it. And believe it or not, the team started working on a new concept of Audio Rooms 3.0. In fact, it was so good that we dared to call it 4.0, like skip another 3.0. And for priority purposes, we had to pause that. The intention is to retake that new audio room, and when we do that, it will be able to bring a lot of media integrations that we weren't able to do before. Okay, so again, as we progress with Reggae and we're able to streamline our development and increase the size of our development team as well, we will be able to start tackling some of these core refactorings that I think is going to really allow us to be disruptive in audio. And so I'm not discarding that, but we definitely will need to change a few things on the audio room to be able to do that. Okay. All right. Let's see. I like that the chat incentivizes users to actively engage in the audio rooms, especially for those for us who are stage shy. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways of creating content. Not always you have to say it. Sometimes you can type it. So I love, I love those that like to come on stage. And I love those that participate in the chat room. So I'm glad to hear that. All right. Let's see, I'm going through here as well. You guys are hearing all the noise. I'm in the balcony. And for those that joined late, I'm in Naples, Italy. A very loud, beautiful, beautiful city, but a very loud city. So I'm sure you hear people screaming, horns. Let's see. I love that onboarding in real time in lives. Yeah, so one of our objectives for Q3, another objective, was to start creating what we call feedback loops. And part of creating feedback loops is understanding what's working and what's not working everywhere in Funbase. And one of the efforts is to actually start driving more onboarding of new users so we can also understand pain points. And as you heard, with Sam and other ones that came on stage, we have a lot of super users that also are starting to do onboarding of new users through different verticals, which is awesome. We are actually starting, and Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're actually also going to start doing onboarding through other social media platforms. So, if you know someone that is too shy to come to Funbase or doesn't want to come to Funbase to do the onboarding, maybe they'll get a chance to understand what Funbase is about and see, how to use Funbase in other social media, because the marketing team is going to start doing a live stream for that as well. Okay. All right. Let's see, I'm going through here. Luna Fox, you're a teacher. Thank you. I admire teachers. Let's see. I'm going through here. There's always a lot to catch up on. All right, there's no more questions or feedback. We can jump into the next topic, which is the roadmap beyond what's coming up in the next couple releases. I always like to start talking about roadmaps by mentioning our objectives, our OKRs, objective key results. The way we draw roadmaps is first, as a company, as a business, we say, okay, how do we want to continue growing Funbase? How can we continue improving and giving value to our users, creators, and partners? We set objectives as a company. Then both the marketing team and the product team say, okay, how can we support those objectives? One of those objectives was to really focus on community building inside Funbase, right? And when we talk about community building, from a product standpoint, there's a lot of elements within Funbase that we want to tackle to start helping those. Some are small increments, which I already mentioned. Some are larger. So some of the small ones, I want to repeat them. Improvements into camps. We're going to be doing small improvements so it's easier to find camps that you feel identified with, to engage with users and to create conversations within those camps. That's a great way of building community. And number two is we want to start giving better tools for you to showcase yourself and start having tools to manage your content in a better way. That's what one of the things that we're going to be doing this quarter is we're going to be improving the profile. The profile in Funbase is one of these parts of the product that we haven't really done much since the beginning, and it's time to revamp it and bring some of the newer concepts into it. Now, there's a lot in mind when we're talking about redoing the profile. A lot of the things are going to come later in the future, so a lot of times when we do this kind of refactor, we might bring 2 or 3 small increments, but then we can start building on top of it greater and more disruptive increments and features, okay? One of the things that we're going to be doing is giving you the chance of having some content management tools, such as being able to pin your content, being able to archive your content, and so on. And we're also starting to highlight camps, because to us, camps, again, it's a great way to build a community. And the future of camps is going to be beyond audio. That's as far as I can say. So a good way for us to enable and showcase camps is to bring them into the profile as well. So we're in the middle of actually an internal discussion to see what's the best way to bring it, when to bring it, and so on. But that will be part of a profile as well. Okay, there will be other small adjustments as I'm hoping to some things that you might have today. We take that as an opportunity to learn why are they doing that. So we're building these feedback loops. We're doing these surveys and incentives to really understand why are people not staying within Fanbase. That's giving us a lot of great information. Obviously, we're not going to make decisions based on just a few users' feedback. We're having thousands of users giving us feedback, which is super valuable, and we're going to start actioning on that. We're doing the same for subscription. As you know, Fanbase, one of the great things is that you can build a subscriber base. But we also want to know if you subscribe to someone or if you unsubscribe from someone, why are you doing so? First is because we want to understand what might be missing from the subscription flow or the subscription experience. And two, because we want to grab that information and provide it in an anonymous way to the content creator. Imagine if you, as a content creator, you get 20 people that unsubscribe in a given month, and then they tell you, you know what, I think you don't post enough, or we don't have enough exclusive content that justifies me paying it. This is type of information that really drive not business decisions per se, but your decisions of how you cater content and how you can monetize better. So creating feedback loops, as simple and as obvious as it sounds, really helps us, drive retention, reduce the churn rate, and also improve building community as well. So those are some of the things that we're doing. Again, I mentioned that we are bringing another monetization tool. We are still working on building a proof of concept for RTMP. We're super excited about bringing someone that is a heavy hitter in the RTMP world and actually is very well known among gamers. And we're going to start building RTMP, not the same as everyone else does it, but we want to do it differently, just because Fanbase is different. So the RTMP is also continue to be part of our roadmap. And then, of course, there's many other things, but I'm going to leave it there so we can maybe use the last 15 minutes to answer any questions or get any feedback on the potential roadmap here in Fanbase. All right? With that said, as always, I'm going to go back into the chat room. And one of the things I actually like from when we do the dual experience, and I know we haven't done it in a while because I've been traveling, but when I do live and audio, I can open Fanbase on my MacBook Pro. If you have a MacBook Pro, M1 and above, you actually can download Fanbase on your computer, which is pretty cool. So in that way, I can look at the chat room while I'm talking, so I don't have to lose too much time, but I couldn't do it today, so I apologize for that. Let's see. I see some people taking notes. Okay. Don't worry. I'm very sure when I say things here, I'm certain about it because I know you guys will always remember it. Come back and say, hey, Rama, remember when you said you guys were going to do these? Where are you guys with that? I know you guys. So good. All right, let's see. I see new people join the audio room. Welcome. If you're a new user, we're super excited you're here. We invite you to connect, ask questions. There's no such thing as a silly question. We don't want to assume that you guys know how to use Fanbase and what is Fanbase about, so ask away. I see you, Kyle. So there was a time where we used to have most of our users back in the day, they were foodies. We had a lot of chef, food lovers, and so on. I agree with that. More foodies. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, just like any other social media, when you give freedom, there's always going to be those that bring either not safe for work, adult type content. We're like constantly improving our moderation algorithm as well. And we do also manual moderation. One of the questions I get when we talk to investors and, other subject matter experts is like, how do you handle moderation, right? Because it's one of the things that every social media platform struggles, no matter if they're big or small. And to me, I always find value in the combination of three elements. One of them is automation. So having a moderation algorithm that truly understands what violates the terms of service and what doesn't, and what maintains a safe space. Number two is manual moderation. Even though having people moderating is not scalable, the combination of automation and manual moderation I think is valuable, because no matter how good the algorithms are, humans are humans, and they always will be making good decisions. And number three, which is super important, is going to be community-based moderation as well. So I do want to say thank you, because you guys, as you report and as you do, you also help in the moderation scheme. To me, those three, when they work in tandem, it's super powerful. And again, there's always going to be gaps, and we want to try to understand how we can cover those gaps. But just wanted to share that out there, because it's one of the questions that we get out there all the time. All right, let me see. I saw a question. What? Apple MacBook? Yeah. So you can download, but again, you got to have an M1 MacBook Pro and above. If you go to the App Store, you should find Fanbase, and you can download it. What I love the most about the MacBook version is when I'm chatting on DM, when I'm in the chat room, and I type with my keyboard, I have big hands and long fingers, guys. So I love doing that. So a lot of times while I work, I have my Fanbase app open in one of my screens, and I'm just constantly going there and I chat and I participate. I sometimes leave audio rooms and listen to conversations while I work. So if you haven't checked it out, check the MacBook Pro version. Just a disclaimer, we don't actively create features just for MacBook Pro. The great thing about Apple is that as they improve their software, they streamline their apps so they work the same throughout all their devices. So the experience is pretty good one. There's still some things that don't work properly, but again, because we're not focusing on MacBook Pro, I'm not sure we're going to be able to, adjust those features. But overall, I would say 90% works great. So check it out. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I want to make sure I don't miss anything, because I see Kyle answering questions, but I might be missing. All right. Drive safe, Kyle. Drive safe. All right. So I'm going through the messages. I love about this app. We all can do feel inclusive and how things can be made better, even greater to the real people. Yeah. And our promise to you guys is that no matter how big we are, we're going to continue having these spaces where we can talk, we can add transparency, and so on. So definitely, I like that you guys enjoy that. I want to use the last part of our audio room. I don't do it enough